evening, everyone. Good evening. It is a pleasure to be here on this Wednesday, the 26th day of June, 2024. And it's the On the Mark program on your radio once again. And of course, we are here from the Eastern Caribbean Powerhouse, Vaughan Radio 860 on your AM dial, www.vaughanradio.com. And of course, you're hearing my voice, and so you're not hearing the Honorable Mark Brantley, who is the regular host of the program. And unfortunately, he's not available. He's overseas on state business, and so I have been asked to come and host the show tonight. Of course, I'm always willing to do this with all pleasure when the Honorable Mark Brantley is not available. And so I'm Eric Evelyn. I'm with you. I'll be here with you until 10 o'clock this evening. Of course, we know that this is a commercial-free talk show program, and we go from 8 until 10 every Wednesday, and then there's a rebroadcast on Thursdays from 1 o'clock. So let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you who are in tune to the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse, and it is a pleasure to welcome all of you, whether you're listening in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you're in the region, whether you're in the diaspora. It is such a pleasure for you to join us. I know there's a lot of folks who always join us on a Wednesday evening. People actually look forward to this show on a Wednesday night. And so we are happy that you have joined us, and we know that a lot more persons will be joining us as the show progresses this evening. There are some persons who eagerly await, and so some of them join at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock, and then there's some that struggling a little later on. But anyway, whatever you're doing, if you're joining us now, if you're going to join us later, it's always a pleasure to have you. As I said, it's the 26th day of June. It's the final Wednesday in the month of June, and so it seems like only yesterday 2024 started, but in a couple of days we will be halfway through 2024. I don't know where the weeks and the days and the months have gone. It seemed like just yesterday we were saying Happy New Year to you, and so now we are almost halfway into 2024. And so I say good evening to you once again. It's a pleasure to have you. Call somebody up and tell them On the Mark is on the radio and they need to listen. All right? And so once again, I'm Eric Evelyn, the host for tonight, and I'll be with you until 10 o'clock. Of course, a little later on, you'll be able to call in as well. A little later on, I'll have a guest with me, and it's always good when I have company in the studios of the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse. And so I'll have a guest with me a little later on, and it's such a pleasure always to have a guest. And of course, at the top of the show, we normally do a little bit of housekeeping matters, and so we're going to do that. I just want at this time to extend birthday greetings to all of you who might be celebrating today. If you're celebrating today, I hope that you've had a great day. If you have celebrated earlier this week, I hope you had a wonderful day on your birthday. If you're celebrating tomorrow or for the rest of the week, advanced birthday greetings to you, and I trust that you're going to have a wonderful time as well on your birthday. All right, of course, we need to celebrate life, and so I know some persons go all out when they're celebrating their birthday. So those of you who are celebrating, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, of course, graduation is coming up as well. This is graduation season, and so those of you who will be graduating, happy graduation day to you whenever the time comes. So happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever you're celebrating, happy celebration to you. If you're celebrating today or the rest of this week, all the very best to you. And of course, those of you who are not feeling so well, those who might be in the hospital, those who might be in the homes in Charlestown and Gingerland, we say good evening to you as well. We hope that you're going to feel better. Some of you may be under the weather. We trust and hope that you're going to feel better soon. And of course, we greet all those who are taking such wonderful care of you. And so we greet those who are at the hospital, the Alexandra Hospital, taking such great care of our patients. Those of you who are at the Flamboyant Nursing Home, those who are at the Senior Citizens Home in Gingerland, we say good evening to you. Continue to take such wonderful care of the patients who you are charged with caring for. And of course, we also want at the top of the show as well to greet those who are mourning. We have a lot of persons in the bereaved column, and it it has been some sad times here on the island of Nevis, and of course we always show solidarity. We hear from the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse. We always show solidarity with those who are mourning, and so those of you who are mourning, we want to show solidarity with you, and we extend our heartfelt condolences from us here at the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse and from the On the Mark show. And I have a few persons on my list for tonight, and we want to say condolences to the family of the late Victor Emmanuel Jones. He's of Fountain Village, and we want to say good night to his entire family, his children, his siblings, his nieces and nephews. I want to say good night to my own secretary, Marshall Daniel, your uncle. So Victor Emmanuel Jones, we say good night and condolences to your entire family. We say condolences to the family of the late Sylvia Walters, who is from my constituency. From right there in Maynard Ground, and so we say good night to people like Vaughn and Crispin and Sharon and the rest of the family. And we also want to say condolences to the family of the late Tamara Davis. She's a young woman who was studying, and of course we would have lost her. A very sad case. So we say good night to the family of the late Tamara Davis, to her mom and her dad, her siblings, and the rest of the family and all her friends. And we say good night to you. I know it's a difficult time, but we say good night to you as well. We want to say good night to the family of the late Becky Nanton. And of course, when we got that sad news yesterday, it was really rocked. It really rocked a lot of people. Of course, we know Miss Nanton would have worked with the Nevis Island administration for quite a while now, and quite a pleasant young lady. And so we say good night and condolences to her entire family as well, her siblings, her children, and all who are left to mourn her passing. We also want to say good night and condolences, sincerest condolences to the family of the late Lillian Prentice. We would have learned this morning that Lillian, our good friend Lillian from the church ground, would have passed. And so we say good night to the children, all of the family, to Papa and Cal and Bull and Sandra and all of the family. Lillian would have fought hard. I would have seen her in the hospital a couple of times. She would have battled well, but we would have lost Lillian, and so we say good night and condolences to the entire family. And I know the Churchground family is a close-knit family up there, and so we say good night to all of the folks there in Churchground. We would have lost Lillian. We want to say good night to the family of the late LaSherna Kelly, and this one really hit me very hard because she was one of my staff members from the Department of Agriculture. We would have lost LaSherna, and she will be laid to rest this coming Saturday at the Ebenezer Church there at Old Manor from 2:30. And LaSherna, again, young woman, full of life, someone who wanted so badly to live, wanted so much to come back to work. And so we say good night and condolences to her husband, her very dear loving husband Dietrich, to the children Tia and Tiana and Tion and Tiandre, and of course to her siblings as well, to all of her relatives and friends, to the team there at the Department of Agriculture. We are so sorry that we would have lost LaSherna at this point in time. Now, yesterday was a pretty sad day as well. We would have lost someone through gun violence. And I know the Honorable Premier would have spoken about gun violence and the need to put down the gun. And, I mean, all of us would have done that so many times. And, you know, one of the first messages I got yesterday on my cell phone was that there was a shooting in Pond Hill. And, you know, when I made the call to find out what had happened, I understood that a young man, only 32 I think, would have lost his life. That's Alexis Hendrickson, a very quiet young man. And we want to say good night and condole. I know this is a difficult time because only the day before his cousin Joel was laid to rest. And so the following morning, this terrible, wicked act was committed there in Pond Hill. And so we say good night and condolences to the mom Doreen and to the siblings and all of the relatives. It's quite a big family, and I know that family must be stressed at this time in deep mourning. As I said, they would have just buried Joel the day before, and then for this news to come yesterday. And I want to take this opportunity once again to make an appeal. Because I simply cannot understand how people can kill someone in cold blood, heartless, and then just go home like nothing has happened. I am at a loss. And this is not the culture that we grew up here on the island of Nevis in. This is not the Nevis that we are accustomed to. And we continue to ask the question, what has happened? Where have we gone wrong? Where have these criminals been born from? I don't understand it. Because for someone to look at you, to pick up a gun, to point it at you, and then to kill you, and I mean at no point in time something says to you, I should not do this. This is wrong. When you point a gun at somebody, that person could have been your brother. And come on, that was a son, that was a brother, that was a father. And for you to be so heartless and so wicked, to see that a family is in mourning, is in deep mourning, they would have just buried young Joel, and for you to take out another cousin the following morning, and then it's like nothing happened. It's like a bottle mashup for you. I mean, I don't understand. I said, Nevis, when we were growing up, we were so loving to each other. I remember when we went to school, almost every afternoon there was a fight. But by the next day, everybody made up. Everybody were friends again. You know, you had the little fight in the afternoon and everybody crowded around and you know, people made a little fun of it. But by the next day, everybody were friends again. And you have a fight. And then if you hit somebody too hard and they're in pain, you go and you console them as well. This is not our Nevis. This is not our Nevis. And it is disheartening that only recently the Prime Minister would have announced in the Parliament that there's a gun amnesty. One gun was passed in. One within the 14-day period, I think. And people are bent on holding on to their weapons, holding on to their ammunition, and causing trouble and creating these hate acts on each other. I mean, as I said, when you do that, that could have been your relative. We are all one big happy family here on the island of Nevis. We are supposed to be. The island is so small, and we really should not be creating this kind of trauma for family members. And so I'm using this opportunity to kindly beg and ask our young people to please put down the weapons. This is not the way to go. We've said over and over and over and over again, when you pick up the weapons and you kill, when you're involved in a life of crime, you can only end up either in the jail or in the cemetery. And that is not the place anybody wants to go. When people are young, their life is just snuffed out like that. And then when you commit these crimes, you don't feel safe. I don't think you feel safe. You might be pretending that you're strong, but you don't feel safe. You can't feel safe. You have to be looking over your shoulder every now and again. And so we don't want this kind of activity to continue. It gives the country a bad name. Little St. Kitts and Nevis had 16 murders, I think, for the year. And we're only halfway. I was just saying that in the next couple of days we're going to be halfway through the year. And a little island, a little country like St. Kitts and Nevis should not have had more or less 16. We've had 2 on Nevis. And I trust this would be the last for the year. I trust that these 16 will be the last for the year for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so we are begging. I am begging, and I'm begging on behalf of all of St. Kitts and Nevis, because I know the majority of us in St. Kitts and Nevis would want us to change the path we are heading in. Please put down the weapons. Put down the weapons and pick up love. pick up love. God is love. Pick up love. And then the final person, the final family that I want to send out condolences to tonight, and this today was also a very, very, very sad day as well. Very, very sad day. We lost a little, I would say a little angel, a little 3-year-old angel at the hospital today. Little Symphony Brand. And that again was so sad, you know. And as I keep lamenting, we're losing so many persons through natural death, natural means, and we have enough mourning. Persons are mourning for natural deaths. Those are enough. Only I think it was 2 weeks ago, there were 6 funerals in Nevis during 1 week. I attended 5 out of those 6 in 1 week. And we have so many natural deaths. We don't need deaths by violent means. And so today we had the untimely passing of little Symphony. And as I said, it's a very, very, very difficult time for the family. And we want to reach out to you from us here at On The Mark, us here at the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse. And we want to send some condolences to the parents, Stedroy and Aquila Brand. I know it's extremely difficult for you, very traumatic for you. To my brother Spencer and Sheila, and of course to Wilmer, the other grandparent, and to Chevon and Chevonette, and I know all of you are going through a tough time. Very, very tough. I was there today and I felt your pain. And I just want to let the family know that we are, especially my brother Spencer, you know that the cabinet members, we are there for you and we're there for the family. And may God give you strength to go through this very, very difficult time. And I pray for strength, for God's strength for all of the families who are grieving at this time. All of the families who are grieving at this time. And you know, it's even more difficult when it's sudden, like today. No one expected it. It was sudden. And you know, as I said, when I looked at that little girl, she was looking just like a little angel on that bed. And so, Minister Brand and your entire family, we reach out to you at this time, brother, and we say condolences. May God give you strength at this time. And all of you who are mourning, all of the families who I've mentioned, and all who have been mourning for some time, because, you know, sometimes people have to mourn for weeks and months based on how close you were with your relative. I know it's a difficult time. I've gone through it many times, so I know what it's like, you know. And so all of you who are mourning at this time, whether you've just lost a loved one, whether you've lost a loved one in the recent past, we say condolences to you. May you find strength in the precious memories of your loved ones, and may God grant you the strength that you deserve at this time to go on. And from that sad note, just want to go now to some of the things that a lot have been happening on the island of Nevis for the past weeks, during the past days as well, and just wanted to highlight a few before I go to my guest, because I know my guest has a lot of information to share. A lot of information to share. I'm not sure if the time that we have here on the mark tonight will be enough for him to share the information, but we have a lot of information to impart to you. And so I just want to say quickly that last week on June the 18th, we would have met in the Nevis Island Assembly, and we would have passed the Nevis International Banking Amendment Bill 2024. I have to say that it was a proud moment for me, because in the absence of the Premier, who should have been here but would have was caught up overseas, it was left to me to move the bill through its second and third readings. And so, as I said, it was a proud moment for me, but thank God we delivered. We are an excellent team, and so even though the Premier was not here, his team was able to deliver, and we were able to pass that bill on the 18th. And I must say, and which I mentioned in the House, the tone in the House that there was quite good. We had support from the opposition as well. And that is how a democracy should work. If there's a bill that will positively affect the entire island, then the opposition needs to support it as well. And we did have support from the opposition. And so that bill was unanimously passed. I want to say congratulations to our Financial Services Regulatory Commission on the hosting of the 16th annual AML CFT CPF conference, which is currently being hosted at the Four Seasons Resort. I think today was actually the final day. He would have started on Monday, and I would have been given the privilege there of making some remarks on Monday, and I believe I think it must have been quite a successful event. I must indicate that it was held under the theme Accountability in Action, Managing Evolving Compliance Risk and Threats, Part 2. And the attendance, the in-person attendance this year was 184, up from 160 last year. Actually, there were more persons who were interested in coming, but because of the limited space at the venue, we had to cut off the registration in terms of in-person. But we had some persons joining via Zoom as well. So this is actually not only a conference for service providers in St. Kitts and Nevis, but for service providers throughout the region. We had persons in attendance from Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, the British Virgin Islands, Panama, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Canada, and Uruguay. And so I would say that Nevis, as a small jurisdiction in financial services, we are punching well above our weight. And once again, kudos to Ms. Sutton and her team there at the Financial Services Regulatory Commission. So when I was there on Monday, it seems as though things were off to an excellent start, and I'm confident that it was a very successful conference once again. Well done, Financial Services, for your great work. And I must indicate that very shortly, very soon, we'll be having the Mango Festival from July 4th to the 7th. And I must indicate as well that the Department of Agriculture will be hosting its fruit festival for Culturama, and that registration is open. You can go to the department and register. And of course, we know that Music Festival is in the air as well. Our sister island of St. Kitts will be hosting the Music Festival. Starts tomorrow, Thursday the 27th, it goes on till Saturday the 29th. And so those of you in Nevis can go over and support. Of course, when we have anything on the island of Nevis, our Kittitian brothers and sisters come over in their numbers and support. And so we're asking those of you on Nevis to go over in your numbers as well and support overwhelmingly the St. Kitts Music Festival. I had some more stuff, but I'm going to leave it there for now, because as I said, I have a guest in studio with me, and I know that he has a lot. We have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to cover. And of course, we will be inviting your calls as well. Our numbers are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. And so those will be the numbers that you can call in when we open up the lines. And let me have my guest introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm no stranger to the microphones of Van Radio, and no stranger to On the Mark, either sitting alongside the Honorable Premier or the Honorable Evelyn. I don't know where Eric does find things to say, because he kind of giving you all the impression that I have so much to talk about this evening. I just wonder where he does find things to say. But we will see. We have what? We are 25 minutes past 8 o'clock. So we are 25 minutes short on the 2-hour program. And yes, we know that Culturama 50, the big 50 is in the year. And yesterday we had a very successful media mingle right there at the Queen City Garden and Bar, or Bar and Garden. And that was a very successful event. Speaking to someone today who attended that event, commended the Culturama Committee on organizing a spectacular event. They particularly liked the venue and the kind of laid back sort
atmosphere.
of atmosphere,
Yes.
that media mingle. We have been accustomed to hearing media conference or press conference, but in discussions with the permanent secretary, Huey Sargent, on Monday, he said, let's name tomorrow's event a media mingle, because we want to change up the format somewhat. And I think that the change in the format, the change in the name was well received by the persons there. And so, I went off on a tangent there. I probably wanted to get a head start in all of the things that I have to speak about this evening. But Eric, thank you for having me, and let us let the good times roll.
Certainly, the good times will roll. And I can say from now on, we can, if you have anything to call in, you can call in, because we're going to have a lot to discuss. So the lines will be open, and you can call in at any time with anything Culturama, or even if it's not Culturama. So we're gonna kick things off. As you spoke
And
about,
Eric, I have a bag of goodies.
oh wow,
I have a bag of
you
goodies.
have a bag of goodies, so
I
which
have a bag
means
of
that
goodies.
people are going to be able to call in to win some stuff.
Yeah, I have a bag of
Okay,
goodies.
great. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the media mingle yesterday. I thought it was a wonderful event as well. It was different, atmosphere different, format different, and I think it went down quite well. There was a big announcement made during that media mingle, Mr. Liebert, Abo. Of course, our patron for Culturama 50 has been named, and our patron is none other than Mr. Evelyn King Miko Warner. What has been the reaction from persons in terms of Miko being named as the patron?
Well, Eric, to be quite honest with you, I've had calls from persons overseas, and some persons who I thought would have called me to bash the Culturama committee on selecting Miko. To my surprise, those persons have said to me, it could not have been a better person to honor on this, the 50th anniversary of Culturama. We know of Miko's exploits,
yes,
in the field of calypso. He has won 9 Culturama calypso titles, 5 road march titles. He has won titles further afield than Culturama. He is actually the 1998 Federation Calypso King, the 1989 Independence King in Nevis, when Nevis had an independence competition. He is the 1995 Caribbean Calypso Monarch that was held in St. Martin. He is also the 1997 FND Calypso King, the 1999 St. Kitts Nevis King of Kings, and also in 1999 he won the Tourism Kaiso Bacchanal Monarch. And so, apart from the 9 Culturama Calypso titles that he has won, he has also won six of these titles, or additional titles, I must say. And so, it's a commendable performance. We know that Miko is probably one of the best performers that has graced the stage here on Nevis. And one of the interesting things that he told us yesterday is how he came about by the name Miko.
Yes.
He went into the band house. He did not have a name, and he lamented on it for some time, pondered on it, and then he decided Miko. And when asked, well, what Miko means, he said, main entertainer entering this Kaiso organization. Main entertainer entering this Kaiso organization. And so Miko, M-E-E-K-O, that is what it means. And And there's one other thing that I would want to mention in terms of his achievements, that in 2020, on January 15th, Miko was bestowed with an MBE. So he's Elfin Jen Warner MBE. And another interesting thing that I found out is that Crefton is nowhere on any documents, any birth certificate, anything. But we all know him as Crefton Warner. And he said to me that only after he was trying to get some documents to travel that he realized that his real name was Elfin Jen Warner instead of Crefton Warner. But all the years we have known him as Crefton Warner. And so quite fitting, the King Miko was named yesterday by yourself, the Minister of Culture, as our honored patron for Culturama 50.
Fantastic. We have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello. Good evening. You're live and on the mark. Hello. Could you listen to the phone and not to the computer?
Hello.
Good evening. You're live and on the mark. You're on air. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
How are you, Honorable?
I'm doing good, and how are you doing?
I'm doing not too bad for an old one.
Okay. Go right ahead, you're on the air.
I need to speak to you after you get off here, please.
Okay, I'll leave your number with Melissa, okay?
Okay.
All right, okay, no problem. Yes, Abo, so as I said, I think Miko, and of course, we know of all the songs, including the unofficial anthem of Nevis as well.
Yes, Nevis Nice.
Nevis Nice.
That was probably one of his biggest songs. And there are several other hit songs that he penned. Give Me the Lele being one of them, and he actually gave us
Rough Me Up.
Rough Me Up. He gave us the story behind gave us the story yesterday behind the Rough Me Up. Marcin Orley, that is another of his popular songs. And so his exploits in calypso have been many.
Yes.
Many. And he actually performed for Culturama for over 35 years, having entered the first competition in 1976. And then 2 years later, I think, 2 years later, I think it was, 2 or 3 years later, he won his first crown. And so, 1977, he won his first crown, which was 3 years later.
Yes.
He won his first crown. And since 1977, he went on to win 8 additional Culturama titles. And so, quite fitting that the Nevis Culturama Committee decided to name Miko as the patron of Culturama 50.
And so once again, I say heartiest congratulations to you. I was just about to say Crefton Miko Warner. Heartiest congratulations to you. I would just say King Miko. I will stick with King Miko. Heartiest congratulations to you, King Miko, on being our C50 patron. It's a signal honor. Of course, this is a signal year. It's a historic year. And your name will be written in the history books as the patron for Culturama 50. I think you couldn't have gotten a better honor at this time, King. So congratulations to you, and I know that a lot of persons have congratulated you, and as you rightly said, Abo, I think persons have said openly that yes, it was a great choice for Miko to be named as a patron for Culturama 50. And so heartiest congratulations once again to you. Abo, we've had quite a number of activities for Culturama 50 in terms of the run up to the festival? You've had we had some calypso tents, we've had some soca teaser tents. Tell us.
We had a bar crawl.
Right. Tell us how have things been going where those are concerned. We've had the panyards.
We have had the panyard. We have had the launch of the festival in April the 26th, I think it was. We had the reveal of our contestants, senior pageant contestants. At that, I think someone is on the line.
Yes. Good evening. You're live and on the mark. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And how are you today?
I am good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm calling to add to your condolence list.
Yes.
You remember Yampy?
Yes.
From Cotton Ground? My father had 3 children by his mother. George, which is Yampy, Franklin, who is in New York, and one named Sheldon. I was called and told that they call him Feldon. Feldon. He lost his daughter suddenly.
Okay.
She was 40 years old.
Wow.
So condolence to the Richard family, Manuel, and all the others.
Yes.
On the passing of Felton's daughter.
Yes.
You know, she wasn't sick down, you know.
Yeah, well, we find a lot of that happening nowadays.
Yes,
yeah.
40 years. She, by the time she reached hospital, she was dead.
Yes.
So condolences, those of you in New York, you know, Franklin and Yampy and Emmanuel was a former police officer.
Yes.
That is their brother. So if you're listening, give my regards, my condolences to my brother, Felton.
Thank you.
Oh, then thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much, caller. And I would have missed one as well. I wanted to say condolences to the Liebert family there at Market Shop, Devon and Diane and the rest of the family. They would have lost someone suddenly, a relative suddenly in St. Kitts as well during this week. And that was a young person as well. So we say condolences as well to Devon and Diane and Lisa and the rest of the family, and condolences to the family, the immediate family in St. Kitts as well. All right. So yes, so I was saying that we've had quite a number of activities, and what has the vibe been like at these activities? What has the attendance been like at these activities?
We have had good support from the general public at all of these events. When we launched and let me fast forward a bit to the senior calypso tents. When we launched the senior calypso tents for Culturama 50, I think it was about 3 Thursdays ago.
Yes.
At the Old House Cafe. We were a bit skeptical.
Yes.
It was a Thursday night. But when we saw the support for our Calypsonians, the number of persons that came out and they supported the Calypsonians on stage, they danced, they jammed, they sang along. I mean, it signaled that the Culturama 50 Kaiso season was off to a great start. I must also speak on the soca teaser tents, because last Saturday we had a soca teaser tent at the Queen City Bar and Garden, Garden and Bar rather, right there on Main Street actually, in Charlestown. And when I got there on Saturday evening and saw the number of persons who came out and in support of a soca monarch artist, I said Culturama 50 is on a good path. A number of persons. The Action Corner events, they have gone well. We have had some tremendous support at the stagings of the Action Corner. We also went over to St. Kitts and partnered with the St. Kitts Music Festival, had tremendous support on the sister island of St. Kitts. I want to say thank you to the Music Festival Committee and St. Kitts for hosting us. The reveal of the talented youth, the Republic Bank talented youth, Mr. and Miss Talented Youth.
Was quite a crowd in town.
Was quite a crowd on Friday afternoon. Was quite a crowd, and the ceremony was not drawn out.
1 hour.
It was short and sweet and spicy. I mean, those children, those contestants from our primary schools, they really brought their A game
Certainly.
to the stage on Friday afternoon. And so that again was another successful event. Last week, Thursday night, and this was somewhat an in-house, somewhat private event. At this time, we were at the Montpelier Hotel, where we were sashing our senior pageant contestants, and they really, again, brought their A game to that event, and very shortly, when the highlights of that activity, of that event are released, the highlight video, when that is released, persons would see that, we have a lovely set of contestants that are going to be vying for the senior pageant titles for this year. The Mr. Cool, the Miss Culture Swimwear, and the Miss Culture Queen pageant. We spoke about the launch. We had the launch, and we know that the launch of Culturama was the talking point around St. Kitts, Nevis, the Caribbean, and probably the world.
Yes. For
weeks. I mean, that time machine medley that was performed by people like Rabba, Sweeties, X-Man, and all the other performers, Energizer. I mean, that was a talk. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed that event at the Charleston waterfront. And so, Eric, we are after a good start. I
think we are off to an excellent start. Not a good start. Good is an understatement. I think we are off to an excellent start. And about the Culturama has been in and of course, remember we had that media conference early up as well.
In January.
Yeah. And so, you're hearing about Culturama since last year, as a matter of fact. Because of course, I as the Minister of Culture have been talking about every opportunity. I've been talking about culture. The Premier has been talking about it all the time. And so the talk about Culturama has been on the air for months now. And so me and you had a conversation, I think it was yesterday, or probably today, and when you were saying that some persons are saying that they're not hearing anything about Culturama. I mean, how could people say that? I mean, when you listen to the Eastern Caribbean Spa House, when you listen to Von, I mean, every day, you're hearing so much about Culturama. I told you I was in St. Kitts. I was in St. Kitts on Monday evening, and I stepped into a bus from Reggae Beach and the moment I stepped into the bus, what song did I hear? Rough Me Up by Miko. And then I heard, and it was a St. Kitts radio station being played in the bus.
I believe you gave them a little sneak preview of that.
I didn't. So when I stepped into the bus, I heard Rough Me Up, and then I heard the Culturama jingle. And so wherever you turn now, wherever on social media you turn, you're seeing something about Culturama. You're hearing about it. There's all of these activities that are happening intermittently, and it's almost every weekend something is happening about. And so for anybody in their right mind to say that they're not hearing enough about Culturama, I think people are just trying to be mischievous, because the buzz is there. People are hearing about Culturama, and as I said, the activities that have been happening, people have been coming out in their numbers, and I mean, as I said, as you rightly said, we have been pleasantly surprised with the turnout at the tents, and so the word is out there. I know the word definitely is out there in the diaspora, and the word is out here in St. Kitts and Nevis as well. And so I personally am pleased with what has been happening in terms of our activities and the support that has been coming from members of the general public. And of course, most of these activities that we're doing, they're being streamed live. And so people who are home and people who are in the diaspora are able to see what is happening, even though they're not able to go to these activities in person. They are kept up to date on what is happening. And so I think about the vibe is building tremendously for Culturama 50.
And one of the other events that we had that I did not mention is that some months ago, I think it was in April, we had a mixologist competition at the Malcolm Richard Recreational
Park. That went very well too.
Went very well, and that competition was put on to get a cocktail of the festival.
Right.
And I must go and record again to say congratulations to Keston Herbert for being the winner of that cocktail. And Eric, we took some of that cocktail over to St. Kitts when we partnered with the music festival. And persons and we gave away some free samples.
Okay.
And persons on St. Kitts have been calling, swaying, and making orders. They want to have that cocktail in their restaurants, in their bars on St. Kitts. And so, that again has been another success story for Culturama 50. And we're not even into the heat of the Culturama season as yet. And so, things are really looking up for us, Eric. In a while, I know that the persons are going to start pouring in from across the diaspora. I know of a family that is coming like in the first week of July, and there's another family that coming from Atlanta, like in the second week.
Wow.
And so persons are going to be descending.
People are coming
early. Persons are going to be descending on the shores of Nevis, probably spending the entire month of July going into August. And so I know that you have said repeatedly over and over and over again that Nevis is going to sink a couple, inches?
Yes.
A couple inches. And if it happens, I'm going to blame you.
Well, we will fix it. We know how to fix things on the island of Nevis. So if it happens, I made a prediction. And so if it happens, we will be able to get it fixed. And talking about fixing things, Abo, let's quickly talk about the venues, because this again, Abo, there has been a lot of negative talk out there.
A lot of naysayers have been out there. They have been saying, they can finish on time. And Eric, the permanent secretary, and myself, we visited. Well, we normally meet at the venues. Almost every morning at 9 o'clock, and we do a walkthrough, speak with the contractors, the project manager, the workers, just to make sure that things are on track.
Yes.
And this morning, I must say, actually yesterday afternoon, I took the Culturama committee there, and the project manager gave the members of the Culturama committee a tour of the facility, and I mean, they were amazed, because all they were hearing, y'all can't finish up there in time. And when they got there, they were shocked to see that the work is nearing completion. I mean, the windows are in, the tiling is going on. I mean, the new dress rooms, they have been outfitted with fans and the lighting fixtures and all of that thing. Lights are actually in the building already, and so we just have to concentrate now on hanging the doors, doing the landscaping, fitting the vanity cabinets, and we are well on the way. Yesterday, when we were there yesterday, a soca artist was there, and he commented. He commented on the amount of space that they now have
on the stage
to perform, and that has been one of the limiting factors for our performers, whether local or international, that the stage is too small. And so we have opened up that stage, and we have provided lots of space. And so that soca artist commended the committee, commended the ministry, the Nevis Island administration, for having the foresight to provide a larger performance space for the performers. And so things are really looking up. The media box, not the media, but the corporate boxes, they are nearing completion. They are being painted right now. The laminate floor will be in place by Friday, and so the next 3 weeks to the start of Culturama. It's just
winding up.
Yeah, just winding up. Just doing the little finishing touches. The steps are in. The landscaping, the grass is being planted. Nutsy is doing a fantastic job.
Oh yes, he is.
Nutsy is doing a fantastic job in terms of getting that facility ready. And I'm sure that when the persons from the diaspora, our family members, our brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, whoever, when they come to Nevis,
they're going to be pleased.
They're going to be pleased. And I don't know if when last you were there, but the road, Grove Park Range, I think the road is called. The road is being outfitted with sidewalks.
Yes.
Sidewalks.
I passed you up there yesterday, Abu, and I saw it.
And so the entire facility, Vaughan Anslin, putting down some lovely paintings, and it's going to be a sight to behold once that facility is completed.
Yes, Abu, I am proud that I'm very happy that my cabinet colleagues would have seen it fit to agree to us investing this as well. I think, as you rightly said, the things are work is progressing wonderful, and I mean every time I go, I am shocked, because every time I go, I said, well, these guys have done a lot of work in a short space of time. A lot of work in a short space of time. And I am sure, I mean, you know, I had this conversation with someone, and I was saying, you know, here on Nevis, right, we are very good at getting things done under pressure. You know that, right, Abo?
Yeah, because
we are excellent at doing that.
In 2017, when we demolished, we actually were going to start. We were on track to start in March. And because, you know, the then permanent secretary, Carl Williams, passed, we decided to pay some respect to him, because he was the permanent secretary for culture at that time. And we started that facility in April after his burial. And we were ready in July. That entire facility was reconstructed in just a matter of months.
Right.
And so, as you rightly said, this administration know how to get things done under pressure.
Of course, we definitely know how to do things. And even if we have a short space of time, and once we set the target, we're going to reach there.
Yeah.
And I have to publicly commend the contractors, Abo.
Yeah.
Because when we met with them, they told us, they promised us they will deliver. They promised us they will deliver, and they are certainly delivering. So I want to publicly commend all of the contractors who are there. You have worked over time, you have worked on weekends, and you are delivering. And so we are happy, and we know, as you rightly said, about that persons who are coming in, and our persons who are living here as well, when they go to these venues, they will be pleasantly surprised. And of course, we know that we've been doing some work down at NEPAC as well. That work is nearing completion as well, and so all of our venues should be up and running on time for C50. Once again, if you are interested in calling in to make a point on Culturama or anything, you can do so. Our lines are open, 869-469-1616-1700. As I said, Abba, we have a lot to talk about, because
yeah, but Eric, before we continue the talking, I want to give away a ticket in the first hour.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
And so, our first question for this evening, you can win a ticket to the Mr. and Miss Talented Youth Pageant. It's a two-part question. Name the schools participating in the Culturama 50 Republic Bank Mr. and Miss Talented Youth Pageant. Name the schools participating in the Culturama 50 Republic Bank Mr. and Miss Talented Youth Pageant. That is part A. Part B, give 3 individual sponsors of this year's pageant. So you can't tell me the Republic Bank, because the Republic Bank is the title sponsor. I want 3 sponsors who will be sponsoring either one of the schools. So we have a caller.
So in essence, you want the schools taking part and 3 of the sponsors.
Yes, 3 of the sponsors.
We have a caller online. Good evening, caller. Let's see if this caller is going to stump us, Abo. You're live and on the mark.
Yes, good night, gentlemen. Good night.
Good night.
Calling from Tortola.
Oh, you're calling from Tortola. Yes.
Yes, I plan to be over for the 50th also, you know.
Okay, good.
I would like to know if you all have any junior television show for the 50th.
Yes, we do have a Junior Calypso show, and that Junior Calypso show is happening on the night of Wednesday, July the 24th. Wednesday, July the 24th. That is going to be happening at the Cultural Village. And speaking of Junior Calypso, this afternoon I got a call from a sponsor who will be throwing in the cash prizes that will be awarded to the winner, first runner-up and second runner-up.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, so if you are coming...
Is it a first-time sponsor?
No, it's a perennial sponsor.
Okay.
But they were out last year, and they indicated that they could not let C50 pass and not come back in the game. Great. And so, caller, if you are coming to Nevis for culture,
he is coming. Yeah.
Okay, we have 16 Junior Calypsonians registered. As a matter of fact, last evening, I got a registration via my WhatsApp.
How many you had last year, Bo?
We had 12 last year.
Okay, so the numbers are up.
By 4. By 4 this year. And so, yes. And that event is going to be happening at the newly refurbished Cultural Village on Wednesday, July the 24th.
And also, I would like to know, because I don't think it and Nevis don't have visiting band coming around their time. You all have any visiting band? I thought not me about them think it's band now. Ever any other ordinary band out of whether Trinidad or Barbados for the 50 years also?
Well, we have some bands coming in. We have a band coming in from Trinidad, yes. We also have a band coming in from some one of those Windward Islands. I think it may be Grenada. We also have a band coming in from Dominica. And so, yes, we will be having regional bands and top-class bands who will be performing at Culturama 50.
Well, my saying is, we have band in the beef. I think we need to do some exchange also, because we always have the band out of St. Kitts in Tatola. I think we need to start to sometime meet up, but do some kind of exchange, because we always have the St. Kitts band name in St. Kitts also, because I seem like Nevis don't have a band no more, because a long time they used to have a band, and you don't hear anything about them anymore.
Well, we do have bands on Nevis. We have the Odyssey Band, we have the Ultimate Band, we have the Core Band, and there's the Casanova Band, because the Casanova Band is now back on track. They brought out 4 songs, and I think recently on the weekend they brought out a 5th. We also have the X Factor Band, we have the Greenhouse Band,
we have the Regal
and
Band,
we have the Regal Band, and we have Mark Milita's band, the Ivy Band. So we do have lots and lots of bands here on Nevis. So and when you come for Culturama, you will get a taste of all of the local bands, because they will all be performing for Culturama 50.
This seem like season band, because I don't hear nothing about after the season.
No, you see, most of our bands, they perform in the hotels. They make a lot of money in the hotel. They're not on the road band like Grandmasters or Small Acts or Nevis is small and we are special. So our bands,
we are high
end product, and so our bands, they focus is in the tourism industry. So they perform in the hotels. The Core Band they have done some traveling outside of Nevis. We also have a lot of steel bands that are here as well.
The Greenhouse has done some traveling.
Greenhouse has done a lot of
traveling.
Lot of traveling internationally. They have been in Europe. They have been in the US. Mark Willett's band just
the Ivy band went
where? Singapore, somewhere.
I can't recall.
I can't recall, but there was
Tenerife.
Yeah. They were in Tenerife, and so our bands probably they're high-end bands, so they don't come to the Virgin Islands or to the British the Virgin Islands. They travel further afield.
Well, I think I'm coming anyhow. I don't book to come up. On the 26th, I won't see the Junior Calypso show. But I would like to see those little youngsters on YouTube, because I saw Grenada had their own on YouTube, and listen, let me tell you something. Devilish was than the big one ever.
Well, I can tell you that we will be streaming the Junior Calypso show, and so just stay tuned, look out for the link, and you can stay right there in the Virgin Islands and have a front row seat looking at the Junior Calypso show this year.
I just said the wrong island, St. Lucia.
Oh, St. Lucia
had a Junior Calypso show, and I enjoy watching those youngsters. And yeah, man, I would like to say explain, because in the BVI we had culture band up down here more than one time. Miller band, Honey Bees, we had down here.
Oh yeah. And the Honorable Eric Evelyn is a gear man for Honeybees now, eh?
Yes, I'm a part of the Honeybee string band.
Yes, I'm the next string band, but I would like to see, we have two good bands down here, OMG and the Wives band. You know, and I personally would like to see that exchange, have these bands be a part of the kids.
Well, we for Culturama we have had bands from the Virgin Islands here. We have had Spectrum. Spectrum was here. Malvern, very good friend of mine, his band was here. We had Jam Band, they were here as well.
We didn't have Imagine sometime back?
Yeah, we have had Imaginations here. Imaginations was here a long time ago, but in recent times we have had Jam Band. And we have a Spectrum.
I supported people. We supported your Virgin Islands. I looking out for
BVI.
Than here in the BVI.
Oh, the BVI.
Because,
okay.
Yes, in the BVI, because we need to get out there, because as I said, we always having the kids band in the BVI, and me promoting Virgin Island band. I promoting the BVI band them now. I would like to see all BVI bands pass a petition and leave it Culturama or anything going on up there. That's my thing. We have two good bands, Vibe and OMG. And
so what
band is very good.
So what you can do, sir, is that you can sponsor one of these bands to the Culturama committee.
No, what? No, we don't sponsor our band to come on here. Not me sponsor band to come on.
Man, get a hat and go around and collect some monies and send up one of those bands from the BVI force. That would be your contribution to Culturama 50.
No, here what you doing? I'm looking for with that exchange. You bring me up, we bring I up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You want to do that.
Okay.
If you want to take, you bring in the band from St. Virgin Island of them. But I hear promoting my BVI band.
We could look at it. We could look at that in the future, sir. You have given us some food for thought.
I listen to the show. I always listen to Mark. You know.
Yes.
So nice to chat with you all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling, and we'll see you soon for Culturama.
All right.
Bring up the whole of the BVI, eh?
Yes, man.
Okay. Take it easy. All right. So, Abel, we are back to the question. We have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark.
Okay. The schools taking part are Violet O. Nichols, Elizabeth Pemberton, Charleston Primary, St. Thomas Primary,
St. Thomas
Joyce Primary.
Yes.
That's 6?
No, that's 5.
Okay.
You're missing one.
Ivor Walters.
Ivor Walters.
And the 3 sponsors are
Yes.
Mavis Corporate Credit Union,
Davis.
Body Brisbane Limited,
Yes.
and Lesco.
And you are absolutely
Bang on
correct.
target.
Thank you.
And what is your name?
Mercia Jones.
Oh, Miss Jones, Hawk's mother.
Oh, no.
Oh, not that Mercia.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Jones, you are the winner of a Mr. and Miss Talented Youth pageant ticket. And that show, you want to tell me when that show will be happening this year?
Let me see. I'm not too sure.
Okay, forget about that. But congratulations.
But it was July 30th, sorry.
Okay, you're absolutely correct.
Okay,
But you won't get the extra ticket for that, eh? I was just checking to see if you're keeping abreast of the activities for Culturama.
What I do is my copies and papers will take one for this year.
Okay,
Fantastic.
Mrs. Jones.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're hearing a lot about Culturama, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, good. All right. All right. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. Have a good night. And so, Abo, you have given away the first question for the night.
Yeah.
You're right. You say you wanted to do it in the first hour. We went over into the second hour. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. You see, what I was telling you, Abo, is already after 9, and we still have so much grounds to cover. We still have so much grounds to cover. All right. So, Abo, tell us what else we need to discuss now. What are we going to go into
Eric,
now?
at the bottom of the hour at 9:30, if I don't remember, stop me.
To give away the second question.
I'm going to dig into my bag here again and see what is inside here.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark.
Good night, Eric.
How you doing?
I am doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. All right. Good night to Mr. Liver.
Yes, good evening, good evening. I know that voice.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
I said I know that voice. Good night, I know that popular voice. Familiar voice.
I call you to verify something and
Yes.
pull you up.
Yes.
I did not hear you mention the band from Detroit, and I'm missing the name right now. But
Universal Expression.
Universal Expressions?
Universal Expressions, that's them. And I thought I saw something that they're coming in for Culturama. Am I correct?
I cannot confirm that.
Oh.
I cannot confirm that.
I was reading something online, and I thought that's what I was reading, because I was going to say to you, how can you forget my band from Detroit? That band has been promoting Nevis in Detroit for years. When I lived in Detroit in the 80s, they have been playing. They go on the cruise boats up and down the river. They do the carnival there, the West Indian Carnival, and they've been promoting Detroit for years. So I'm hoping what I thought I read is correct, and that they will be coming in for Culturama. It'll be a nice addition.
I know that the young man and I, the leader and I we have had conversations, but we have not confirmed anything as yet.
Okay, all right. Well, let's hope it works out. I know you have a whole load on your hands, and I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. I wish you all the best, that Culturama 50 comes out with a bang.
Yes.
And so many people coming in here, it's overwhelming. I'm getting so many calls that people can't find places to stay, right? And so I am hoping that people come, you're going to find some place to stay. Don't worry. If you can't stay in Nevis, just stay in Sinkins, and we have enough boats running up and down.
I did say that yesterday. Boston can stay in Sinkins. It's only 7 minutes away.
Oh, absolutely. And you can even get a car and drive it on the Sea Bridge or the
iConnect.
iConnect. And so there's so many options for those who have not been here in many years. You're coming back to something.
They're coming back to something
spectacular.
They're coming back to something spectacular, not only the Culturama, but the fantastic developments we've had on the island. They're coming back to something spectacular. And so I'm sure all who are coming back will be very pleased with their little island nation.
Mr. Evelyn,
yes.
I have a quick question for you. I was down by Sunshine today.
Yes.
And
did you recognize down there?
A nice job has been done around Sunshine and around those restaurants there. But there's a whole lot of confusion on the main road going down.
When you say confusion, meaning?
I'm hoping that that's going to get cleaned up very quickly.
Everything is going to be cleaned up on time.
Well, I'm not talking about for Culturama. I'm talking about for right now. Because I almost could not get out of down there. You couldn't drive on the paved road that gets you back up to the main road. You have to go through the grass and in and out the equipment and stuff like that. So I'm hoping
sometimes we have to get a little inconvenience for us to get things properly done. Of course, by the time down there is finished, you're going to be very pleased with down there, because I've had persons who come to me and tell me that they did not recognize down at Penny's when they drove down there. Even people from St. Kitts have told me, I can't believe that you all have done so much in a short space of time. People have told me that. I had two visitors here from Texas. They're staying in St. Kitts. They came over and they said, the last time we were here, none of this was here. I almost could not make out Penny's Beach. And I've had that sentiment being expressed by many persons.
I was left to wonder if that one road is going to be enough. You might have to put in a boardwalk for people to get into Penny's from perhaps down at the old Penny's Beach Hotel and have a boardwalk coming. I mean, I know it's too late for that now, but you know, it's gonna be tight, but it's looking good.
Thank you very much.
And Carla, one of the things that you have always bashed me on over the years at this time, music festival time, you know what that is, and I am happy to report that Culturama 50 promotional video would be played on the big screen at Music Festival starting tomorrow night.
Fantastic.
Happy day. Hallelujah.
I know that would have been good news to your ears.
Yeah, we've talked about that over the years. Abo, I don't know where you get the strength. I don't know. You know, when I look at you and I remember you from a young boy,
Miss
where you are
Miss
now,
Johnson days.
I don't know where you find the strength. Do you drink coconut water?
No, I drink a lot of coffee. That keeps me going.
Have a good night.
Yes.
Continue. Keep up the good work.
Okay then.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Abo, getting back to now, do we have another call online? Not yet. Callers, the lines are open, 869-469-1616100. Abo, we still have a lot of grounds to cover, so I will let you decide what other part of the ground we're going to cover right now.
Yes, and so a big part of Culturama has to do with the sponsorship.
Yes, I was hoping that you will mention that.
Yeah, a big part of it has to do with the sponsorship, and without the contributions from the corporate community, staging a festival the magnitude of Culturama would not have been possible, and especially Culturama 50, that is the biggest festival that will be staged over the last 50 years, Culturama Festival, that is. And so we have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories of sponsors. And every one of these categories, there is a sponsor or several sponsors in some cases that have contributed to one of these categories. And so we're going to start with the bottom category, festival contributors, and these are contributors, sponsors who give up to $5,999,000 in cash and services. And so we have the Chill Bar, that is one of the bars down at Penny's Beach. We have Life Fitness Center, and this is a Mr. Williams, Simo Williams. He's from Jessup's. He's the brother of Myra Williams. He has a fitness center, a gym in St. Kitts, and one of our swimwear contestants. Her name is Khadija Lewis. He is contributing gym services to this swimwear contestant free of cost.
Fantastic.
He said, Abo, I want to contribute something to my hometown, and she can come and use the fitness center free of cost as she prepares to enter in the the Miss Culture Swimwear contest. And so, Seymour, I want to say a big thank you. That fitness center is located up in Boardrock. I had the privilege of visiting that fitness center, and I was amazed.
Great.
Seymour, you're doing a fantastic job. We also have the Leeward Island Charters, and every year, Leeward Islands Charters have contributed a catamaran cruise for our senior pageants contestants.
And Leeward Islands Charters is based in St. Kitts?
St. Kitts.
Okay.
And so these are, thus far, are our festival contributors, our brand sponsors now. And these brand sponsors, they contribute between $6,000 up to $11,999,000 in cash. And we have Clive.
You're so excited. It's $11,999.
What did I say?
You said 11,999,000. You're so excited.
So 6,000 up to $11,999
Right.
in cash. We have Clive Evelyn Construction, Lefco Equipment Rental and Construction Company Limited, the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, Nevis Ear and Seaports Authority, National Caribbean Insurance, Odi Brisbane and Grace Foods, Caribbean Lottery, Zanzibar Nevis, Caribbean Digital Displays, Nevis Tourism Authority, and Carib Jack Group. We have 11 contributors. We have 11 brand sponsors who have contributed. And Eric, when I look at this list, let me see. It's probably only one that we are still awaiting their check.
Okay.
All of them have given their checks already. Then we move to our silver sponsors. 12,000, between 12,000
and I hope that one is not Clive Evelyn.
It is not.
Good.
Actually, my brother Clive was one of the first. I was actually having lunch at my office, seated at my desk, eating my cornmeal and fish, and Clive said, "Abo, come outside for the check."
Okay.
And I sent one of my secretaries to collect that check from Clive. So Clive, if you are listening, thanks. You have been a perennial sponsor. Actually, Clive's sponsorship to the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School last year caused him to be he's the winner.
Yes.
Elizabeth Pemberton is the reigning, and Clive is their sponsor. Now we move now to our silver sponsors. 12,000, between 12,000 to 24,999,000.
Abo?
$999 in cash. $999. You see, I want these people.
You want him to give you 999,000?
Yeah, I want $999 in cash. The Queen City Bar, the Queen City Garden and Bar, and I must pause and say that last week Wednesday, when we were panicking,
yes,
we had the sashing ceremony slated for the very next day, and we had some sponsors who came on board, dropped out. We went to other sponsors. They gave us some promissory note. Then, coming close to the time, they said, "Boy, we can't contribute." And we approached the Queen City Garden and Bar Wednesday.
And they said yes right away.
And they said yes right away. And so I want to say a big thank you to the owners, and especially Dwayne Warner, for really sticking with us and believing in us. And so we have Queen City Garden and Bar. We have SKN Development Bank, that is the St. Kitts Nevis Development Bank, the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, and we also have the SL Horsford and Company Limited. These are our silver sponsors. Our gold sponsors, and they are giving between $25,000 and up to $49,999. $999. In cash, we have Delta Petroleum and we have First Federal Credit Union.
And Delta is coming on board for the first time. So
well, for the first time in a long time.
In a long time.
In a long time. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Bevis, when he came, he was surprised at the atmosphere, how electrified it was. I mean, and I'm sure that Mr. Sylvester Bevis, he's going to be from now a perennial sponsor of Culturama because he was so pleased with how things went yesterday. You know, and so I want to thank Delta Petroleum. I want to also thank First Federal and all the other sponsors. And then we move now to our diamond sponsors, and they are contributing between $50,000 and up to $79,999 in cash. We have the National Bank Group of Companies, Caribbean St. Kitts Nevis Limited, the Bank of Nevis Limited, TDC Group, and the Republic Bank. And our platinum sponsors, we are giving between $80,000 and $999,999. We have our official telecommunications service providers of Culturama 50 Flow, and then our premier platinum sponsor giving over $100,000 and over. We have the Bank of New Innovation, Bonnie. And so we have quite a number of sponsors that have already committed to Culturama. All of these sponsors, and as I said, just before leaving office tonight, another sponsor, an additional sponsor, called and said, look, send me a letter tomorrow morning because I want to contribute the cash prizes for the Junior Kaiso competition for Culturama 50.
And Abo, as you're talking about sponsors, I want to chime in as well and say a hearty thank you, because Culturama is an expensive venture, very expensive. It costs the government a lot of money every year. And we are so grateful to all of the sponsors who come on board. And if you're listening out there and you want to sponsor, please give Abo a call tonight or tomorrow. He don't sleep. When Culturama come around, he don't sleep. So call him anytime. He's going to answer his phone. And you can call him or the office tomorrow and pledge your sponsorship. We are still looking. We cannot get too many sponsors, right, Abo?
We can't
get too many sponsors. So if you want to contribute $500, if you want to contribute $5,000, if you want to contribute $50,000, if you want to contribute $500,000, if you want to contribute $1 million, we will accept it. And so please, if you're out there, you're a business, and you want to hear your name being called, because I'm sure people have, these sponsors are very proud when they hear their names being mentioned, Abo. Mm-hmm. And so if you want your name being mentioned on the radio, on the television, at the shows, you need to come forward and pledge your sponsorship. Abo, thank you very much for telling us who these sponsors are, and I'm very, very happy that we have all these sponsors on board. We have some new ones this year. We want to thank you for coming on board. We thank the perennial sponsors who have been with us for so long, and we absolutely cannot do it without your support. So sponsors, take a bow. Thank you very much for sponsoring Culturama 50, and once again, your names will also be etched in the history books for Culturama 50.
And so, Eric, I want to continue, and I want to. There are some sponsors that have naming rights.
Yes.
And so I want to make mention of these sponsors. The title sponsor for the Miss Culture Queen Pageant this year is the Bank of Nevis Limited, and they have doubled their sponsorship to Culturama this year. They are giving $50,000 in cash as the title sponsors or the title sponsor of the Miss Culture Queen Pageant. The Republic Bank, they are title sponsors or sponsor of the
Talented Youth,
Mr. and Miss Talented Youth Pageant. And this year, the Republic Bank is giving $50,000 $55,000. 50,000 of that money would go to the Culturama Committee, and the additional $5,000 will go to the winning school that they would use to facilitate some upgrade at the school, whether they want to buy equipment for the lab. Well, if the primary schools have lab, or a window or something,
maybe a
photocopying machine, whatever. They are giving $5,000, and so schools make sure that the teachers, the persons from the community who come in to work with the children, make sure that they prepare the students well, because I'm sure that every single one of those 6 schools would want to get that extra $5,000 to do some project at their school. And we also have the National Bank group of companies. They are the title sponsor of the Soca Monarch contest, and they are giving $65,000 in cash. They are also sponsoring one of the contestants in the Miss Culture Queen pageant. And then we have Carib Beer. Carib is going to be the official beer of Culturama this year. They have come on board in another big way this year, and Carib would be the official beer of Culturama. I made mention of Flow. They are the official telecommunications service provider of Culturama this year, and we also have the First Federal Credit Union, that is, and they are the title sponsor of the homecoming celebration. And so I want to say a big thank you to these sponsors who have come on board this year in a big way to assume title sponsorship of one or two or whatever of the events that we will be having for Culturama this year.
As you talk about the title sponsorship, right? Because I'm sure maybe some sponsors out there may be interested maybe from next year to become title sponsors. Is there a particular amount, a base amount that you must contribute to become a title sponsor?
Well, anywhere from 30,000 up, we would work with you.
Okay.
And as we are on that, we are still looking at title sponsor
for the swimwear and Mr.
Cool and swimwear contest. So
it's not too late, right?
It's not too late. And so if there's a generous donor out there, we would accept your sponsorship. And Eric, I forgot to mention TDC as the title sponsor of the Senior Kaiso competition. And we heard from the TDC representative yesterday,
yes,
that they will be working closely with the Culturama Committee to make a vehicle available to the Culturama Committee, to the Nevis Island Administration, for the winner of the Culturama 50 Senior Kaiso contest.
You heard what Miko said yesterday? You want to
come back to sing. Because he said if he sing, he can win, and he can be driving home that brand new car.
Right. So yes, boy, we really have to pay homage to our sponsors, and we want to thank them so very much. Abo, it's now 9:30. You said you wanted to give away the next question. You wanted to go into the bag again.
I want to go into the bag. And this is a ticket for the Miss Culture Swimwear and Mr. Cool contest. It's an easy question.
First one was easy too.
Yeah. This is the last time we came here, I gave a question, and up to now nobody answered. So I decided I'm going to go easy on them this year. Tonight. It's another 2-part question. Name the sponsors of the contestants entering the Culturama 50 Miss Culture Swimwear contest. You're going to name the sponsors of the contestants entering the Miss Culture Swimwear contest. And part B to that question is, what is the date of the Culturama 50 Mr. Cool contest? What is the date of the Culturama 50 Mr. Cool contest? So it's a two-part question. You're going to name me the sponsors of the Miss Culture swimwear contestants, and then part B, you're going to tell me the date that the Mr. Cool contest would be staged as part of Culturama 50, and the telephone lines are lighting up.
Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. You're calling to answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay. The contestants for the Miss Culture?
Miss Swimwear. Right, Abo?
Swimwear.
Swimwear.
The swimwear, you have Belinda Clark.
No.
We asked for the sponsors of the contestants, not the name of the contestants. Name the sponsors of the contestants entering the Culturama 50 Miss Culture Swimwear contest. I did not ask for the name of the contestants.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so do some research and call back.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. So we have that question on the card on the table, and while we await our callers, we just have another 28 minutes or so to go. We still have a lot of grounds to cover. We haven't delved into the program of events yet, and I know we've had probably some changes, and so I don't know if you want to get into that right now.
Okay,
if you had something else to deal with before we get into that. We have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm calling to answer the question.
Go right ahead.
You have the Caribbean Lottery,
Mm-hmm.
Carib Jack,
Mm-hmm.
First Federal,
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean Digital Displays,
Mm-hmm.
Zanzibar.
Mm-hmm. You have to answer the second part now.
What is the date of the Culturama 50 Mr. Cool contest? On what date will be staged this year?
The date, July 27th.
July the 27th. Let me look at my calendar. Let me look at my core calendar.
No, it's not the 27th.
I know what happens. You're incorrect. Try again. Go and do some research and come back.
Okay. That caller was very warm, Abu.
Very warm.
She needs to do just a little bit more research and call. We have another caller, and I call her. Good evening, you're live and on the mark. Caller, good evening, you're live and on the mark.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing okay, and how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, thanks.
Okay. Go right ahead.
I'm calling to answer the question.
Go right ahead.
Caribbean Lottery,
Mm-hmm.
Carib Jack,
Mm-hmm.
First Federal,
Mm-hmm.
Cooperative Credit Union.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Start again, please. Start again.
Start again.
Caribbean Lottery,
Mm-hmm.
Carib Jack,
Yes.
First Federal Cooperative Credit Union Limited,
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean Digital Display,
Mm-hmm.
Zanzibar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. And it's 28th of July, 8 p.m. sharp.
You're even giving us the time.
Why you didn't say 7:59?
Excuse me?
Why you didn't say 7:59 sharp? Because that's when we're starting, eh? We're starting at 7:59.
sharp, okay.
We're not starting at 8. You're giving us a wrong time. We're starting at 7:59.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
What is your name?
Cassandra Bruce.
Cassandra.
Cassandra Bruce.
Oh, Cassandra. Okay. Okay, Cassandra. You can, and for the other caller that won this evening, and now you, Cassandra,
Yes.
we will have some vouchers prepared, and so you can come to the Culturama Secretariat. But tomorrow is Thursday, Friday, anytime after Friday, and we will give you a voucher. And when we have the tickets, you can redeem that voucher for the ticket.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
and I'm
Cassandra.
inviting everyone out to come out to Culturama 50 I'll be there enjoying myself.
Congratulations, Cassandra. How you doing? All is well?
I'm wonderful.
I can hear it in your voice. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Bye-bye. All right, so we have two winners, Abo. We just have another 25 minutes to go. As I said, when we good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello, caller. When you call, you need to listen to the telephone and not to the computer, please, or the radio. All right, that caller doesn't seem to want to talk to us. All right, Abo, maybe we can get into the program now? Yeah?
And so...
You had anything else to cover before you do that? Because I don't even think we're going to get through this program tonight based on how things are looking.
Okay, well, since we're dealing with sponsors, just let me finish up with sponsors. And so I want to pay... I want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of the individual sponsors, that is, of the Bank of Nevis Miss Culture Queen pageant. There are six contestants. There are six contestants, and we have Sidandre Fleming. She'll be coming on stage first, and she will be sponsored by Queen City Bar and Garden. We have contestant number 2, Janessa Keynes, and she will be sponsored by Caribbean Sinkis Nevis Limited. Contestant number 3 would be Tikali Edwards, and she will be sponsored by the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. Contestant number 4 would be Shadell Mitchell, and she will be sponsored by SL Horsfords Limited. Vanessa Simon comes on stage in position number 5, and she will be sponsored by the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. And coming on stage in position number 6 would be Miss Shaquania Jeffers, and she would be sponsored by the National Bank Group of Companies. In the swimwear contest, we have contestant number 1, Belinda Clark, and she will be sponsored by Caribbean Lottery. Contestant number 2, Nangela Semple, and she will be sponsored by Carib Jack Group. Contestant number 3 would be Khadija Lewis. She will be sponsored by Zanzibar Nevis. Contestant number 4. No, I have this mixed up. Contestant number 3 is Khadija Lewis, and she'll be sponsored by First Federal Credit Union. Contestant number 4 would be Shaquaya Flanders, and she'll be sponsored by Caribbean Digital Displays. And then contestant number 5, Miss Shalel Smithon, she'll be sponsored by Zanzibar Nevis. And in the Mr. Cool, we have Akido Nisbet, and he'll be sponsored by the Nevis Water Department. Participant number 2, Sinclair Rollins, and he'll be sponsored by the Nevis Cultural Development Foundation. Participant number 3 would be Devonte Liebird, sponsored by the Department of Agriculture. Participant number 4, we have Devonte Richards, sponsored by the Nevis Cultural Honor Committee. And participant number 5, we have Elizel Ramirez Dorset, and he'll be sponsored by the Nevis Tourism Authority. So those are the sponsors, the participants, the contestants in the senior pageants for this year. And we have the persons who will be throwing their weight behind them in terms of sponsoring these contestants / participants. And so if we are to move quickly to the core calendar of activities for Culturama, next week we don't have any events this weekend. We are giving persons a chance to go over and support the St. Kitts Music Festival, because when Culturama comes around, we want the persons from St. Kitts to come over and support Nevis Culturama. And so on Thursday, July the 4th, that is next Thursday, all it now, so we're going to be up by Mem's Pizzeria for the TDC Senior Kaiso Eliminations. The TDC Senior Kaiso Eliminations will be happening Next week, Thursday night, 8 o'clock at Mem's Pizzeria. And then Friday, July the 5th, we would move to Panko's Kaiso Bar right there in Coal Hill, where we'll have an Action Corner event. Right there, Panko's Kaiso Bar in Coal Hill. And then on the Saturday, the 6th of July, we will have a soca, the National Bank soca teaser tent, and that will be happening at the Artisan Village. We are actually partnering with the Ministry of Tourism because they will be staging a night market right there at the Artisan Village. All of the artisans at the village, they will be having a lot of their products on sale. We will have musical entertainment. The soca Mona artists are going to be there. We have some food vendors. It's going to be a huge event. So I just want to encourage persons to come out and support the Ministry of Tourism alongside the Cultural Armor Committee for the National Bank soca teaser tent and the vendors market night. Then on Saturday, July the 13th, we have the C50 bar crawl powered by Carib, and we are going to be going island wide. Very shortly, we are going to be naming the bars that we are going to be stopping by. And when we stop at these bars, Carib will donate some Carib beers to the bar operators, and you can get 3 Carib for $10 at each of those bars when we make our stop. So if you cannot come on the bar crawl and you want to enjoy the goodies from Carib, just meet us at the bars, and once we get there, you can start buying Carib. 3 will go for $10. Then on Sunday, July the 14th, we have Pan and Fashion Fiesta. We are going to be having the final staging of the Panyard, and we are going to be fusing that with a fashion show, and it's going to be happening right there at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park in the afternoon. Friday 19th of July, we have the Cultural Armor 50 Wet Fete, and very shortly we will be releasing the acts. You would realize that we came on board with this event kind of late, and so we are just now trying to tie up our performers, and so very shortly we are going to be releasing the name of the performers. Then we have Saturday, July the 20th. That is going to be the opening night of the Cultural Village. The opening night does not mean that we are going to have a ceremony. We'll just throw the doors open.
Yes.
And persons can come and enjoy the refurbished Cultural Village with that large stage and all of that. And at that same night, we are going to have the National Bank Soca Monarch Finals, 8 o'clock.
Semi-finals,
right there at the Cultural Village. And then the following night, Sunday, July the 21st, we will have the TDC Senior Kaiso Fiesta. The TDC Senior Kaiso Fiesta, or the semi-finals. So that is going to be happening at the Cultural Village on Sunday, July the 21st. Then on Monday, July the 22nd, you realize, Eric?
Yes.
Almost every night.
Every night. Not almost every night, every night.
And so, Monday, July the 22nd, we have Culture Pot. That is going to be at the Cultural Complex. The Cultural Complex. The Nevis Cultural Development Foundation, they will be putting on, and a few years ago, they started Culture Pot, and it went dormant, I think, after COVID. And so they are bringing it back this year, Culture Pot. That will be on Monday, July the 22nd. Wednesday, July the 24th, we are going to be back at the Cultural Village for the Greenhouse Band Junior Kaiso Finals. And as I said earlier, we have some, 16 Junior Kaisonians participating, and it's good to see that this year we are having some Junior Kaisonians coming from St. Kitts. They were once a part of the Junior Kaiso competition, and they are coming back this year. I think they're looking for revenge because our junior Calypso monarch from Culturama last year, Zen, went down and captured the crown in St. Kitts. And so they want to come back over and see if they could throw some Zen threw licks on them right in their backyard. So they want to come Nevis, and so they see if they could throw back some licks on Zen in her backyard.
All right.
So it's going to be a ding-dong bacchanal. Fierce competition on that night. And then Thursday, July the 24th, we have the 25th, we have the official opening ceremony of Culturama 50. And that is going to be happening at the Cultural Complex. Then Friday, July the 26th, we have the Culturama 50 Golden Jubilee Awards ceremony. And that is going to be at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, where we are going to be honoring, we are going to be recognizing, that is, some of the major contributors, the persons who have contributed to Culturama in a significant way, in a large way, who have made the festival what it is today, who have helped to sustain the festival over the last 50 years. We will be recognizing their contributions to the festival. On Sunday, July the 28th, we have the Miss Culture Swimwear and Mr. Cool contest that will be happening at the Cultural Complex. And then Monday, July the 29th, right down until Friday, August the 2nd, every day from 11 o'clock until 2 o'clock, we will have poets in the square. We have local poets who will be gracing the stage there at the War Memorial. And Eric, I understand that Thursday, August the 1st, has been designated for the cabinet.
Yes.
The Nevis Island Administration cabinet. So I hope you don't start writing
poem. We were there last year.
I hope you don't start writing a poem. Because I don't want
I wrote 2 poems last year.
I don't want you to come there and recite any poem out in any book.
I wrote 2 poems last year.
So start writing. Pick
so
up
my
the pen
poems
and paper.
were original.
And I understand that the Honorable Samuel Duggins from the Federal Cabinet and the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Jeffrey Hanley, that they have consented to come over on that Thursday as well as guest poets.
Good.
So, and then on Monday, July the 29th, in the evening, we have the Bank of New Innovation Bunny Panorama Contest at the Cultural Complex. Tuesday, July the 30th, we have the Republic Bank Mr. and Miss Talented Youth Pageant, again at the Cultural Complex. Wednesday, July the 31st has been designated as Homecoming Day because Culturama 50 will be twinned with a homecoming celebration here in Nevis. And so we are welcoming all of the persons, the nationals and the visitors, because once they come, they don't want to make Nevis their home.
Of course.
So Homecoming Day, that day has been designated, and we are encouraging the various communities around Nevis to have events in their communities.
Yes.
Have events in your communities. Put on a pot and have a central location designated where persons can come. You put on a pot or two and you all sit and reminisce on the old time days.
Of course.
Reminisce. That is Homecoming Day. We want that to be a special day. And that homecoming celebration, well, the main homecoming celebration is going to be at the Division Heritage Village right there in Fotogills, the Division Heritage Village. And First Federal will be the title sponsor for that event. They have a number of activities that the Ministry of Tourism, in collaboration with the Nevis Tourism Authority and the Culturama Secretariat, we will be staging there. Then on Thursday, August the 1st, we have the Junior Culture Street Parade in the afternoon, and in the evening we have the National Bank Soca Monarch Contest. That is going to be happening at the Cultural Village. And then on Friday, August the 2nd, in the evening we have the TDC Senior Kaiso Finals. And then Saturday, August the 3rd, we have the Carib and National Bank Art, Craft and Cultural Food Fair that will be happening at the MGR Park. And then in the evening, we have the Culturama 50 Emancipation Concert at the Cultural Village. Sunday, August the 4th, we have the Bank of Nevis Miss Culture Queen Pageant at the Cultural Complex. And then Monday, August the 5th, we have the Emancipation Juve Jump Up, Long Jam, Casanova Core, coming from Gingerland, Small Axe from the MGR Park, Odyssey from the TDC parking lot. Ultimate is going to be coming from the Villa Grounds, and so a number of bands are going to be on the road. And I understand too that the Collision Band, they will be over here, and the Grandmasters Band is going to be on the road because a troupe from Sinkis has hired the Grandmasters Band to play for them. There's a troupe coming from Sinkis, a Juve troupe.
A Juve troupe?
A Juve troupe coming.
Wow.
Matter of fact, there are two Juve troupes, Juju Jammers. Juju Jammers, they are coming over from Sinkis. That's a Juve troupe. And also the Creative Economy, the Department of the Creative Economy, they are coming over with a Juve troupe as well, and they have hired the Grandmasters Band to be on the road. So that expense is not going to be on us.
You see, I tell you, Nevis going to sink a couple inches.
They are going to be on the road. And then on Tuesday, August the 6th, we have the Culturama 50 Grand Street Parade and the last lap in Charlestown, and then we move to the Cultural Village for the Culturama 50, the C50 finale at the village. Now, Eric, those are just the core activities, the activities that the Nevis Culturama Committee will be putting on.
Right.
But there are several other fringe activities. And so next weekend, we have Mango Festival, July 5th to 7th at various
4th
venues.
to the 7th, actually.
Is it 4th?
4th to the 7th.
So they started on
Thursday.
On Thursday now?
Yes.
Oh, well, I did not get that memo.
4th to the 7th, yeah.
Okay, I did not get that. So let me change that to the 4th. Then on Saturday, July the 6th, I spoke about it. The Ministry of Tourism night market at the Artisan Village.
Yes.
Friday, July the 12th, the Health Promotion Adult Game Night C50 edition right there at the Five Cheese Bar. Saturday, July the 13th, the St. Kitts and Nevis Restaurant Week Tasting Showcase at the MGR Park. Sunday, July the 18th, Junior Soca Done will be happening at the Cultural Village, and this is a Junior Soca Monarch contest that is being organized by Morvan Thompson. Morvan Thompson once lived on Nevis.
Yes.
Clegot, I think. Yeah,
yes.
Clegot.
Yes.
And she is coming back to make a contribution to Culturama. She's organizing a Junior Soca. I think they have 6 competitors.
And this is
Some
new.
of them are from Nevis. This is new.
Okay.
This is new. Friday, July the 19th, there's a Culturama Sunset Pre-Juve Fitness Jam. And then in the evening from 5 until 8, 9 o'clock, there's a Glow in the Dark street fete, and that is going to be in Charlestown. It's like a glow parade around Charlestown. Sunday, July the 21st, there's the Culturama Games at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, and then at the Villa Grounds, they will have a Sound Ride Fest. And this Sound Ride Fest is these guys who have these vehicles with the loud sound systems.
Yes.
They're going to be having a sound off to see whose sound system.
We have a lot of creative events this year.
So it's called a Sound Ride Fest, and it's happening at the Villa Grounds. Then Tuesday, July the 23rd, we have the Miss Dainty competition. That is Purple. She is having a competition of some youngsters, some young ladies, and she has named that the Miss Dainty competition. It's going to be at the Nevis Cultural Complex. Friday, July the 26th, recently added to the calendar, the Powerhouse 50 Legends Calypso Show. And that is going to be happening right there at the 869 Bar and Grill in Gingerland. Saturday, July the 27th, the Empire Sports Club Aquatic Extravaganza. That's your event,
yes, sir.
Eric. And then in the evening, we have Tropics Nevis happening at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And then we have a musical that is going to be happening at NEPAC, 5 Star Follies. That's a dramatic production. 5 Star Follies, that is going to be, 5 Star Follies I think was written for Culturama 25, I think it's Culturama 25, and they are bringing it back this year. Sunday, July the 28th, you have a cricket match. Sinkers versus Navy's Berridge Hurrell Trophy cricket match at the E.T. Willett Park. Happening the same times at the Brenter's Bar and Snack It there in Caseway. There's going to be a Sunday brunch, Brenter's Sunday brunch. Happening simultaneously again on that same day with all these events. Navy's Power Boat Association boat race at the Charleston waterfronts. Happening on that same day at the Villa Grounds, Kids Palooza. That is going to be a kids Coney Island kind of thing.
Okay.
And then you will have a matinee dramatic production of 5 Star Follies, the musical right there at NEPAC. Wednesday, July the 31st, we have the Rhythms Dance Theatre dance production at NEPAC. In the village in the evening, that same evening, we have Win Entertainment C50 Bingo at the Cultural Village. And then at Herbert's Beach, there's going to be the Homecoming Herbert's Beach.
Oh, you left out something for Wednesday the 31st.
And Wednesday the 31st, it is supposed to be over here. Okay, Wednesday the 31st, happening at the Malcolm Gishard Park, there's going to be the Homecoming Ball. And that is going to be staged by the Empire Sports Club, yourself.
Yes, and it's a dress-up night.
A dress-down night.
Please come with your best Dan. We're going to be giving a prize for the best dressed couple, the best dressed male, the best dressed female. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about the Homecoming Ball. We're bringing back the ball to Culturama this year.
Yes, and then Friday, August the 2nd, the Department of Agriculture Food Festival right there at the Charleston waterfront. And then on Saturday, August the 3rd, down to Monday the 5th, at the Visitor Center in the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, there's going to be an art show jubilee. They're going to be having an art show. Artists like Von Anton, I know that they're going to be there. Then on Sunday, August the 4th, there's a Culturama Soca Cruise on board Prince Devante. Happening that same Sunday, you have the Sinkits versus Navy's Berridge Hurrell Trophy Cricket Match 2 happening at the E.T. Willett Park. That same Sunday, again, also, you have the SKN Drag Race Association Culturama 50 Drag Racing. And then on Monday, August the 5th, you have the Herbert's Beach Affair. And this is happening from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. down to 8 a.m. Because Alexis has said to me, Abo, when we don't provide all the partying for the people all night, they're going to be there at 8 o'clock and we're going to feed them, we're going to give them breakfast. So it's 12 to 8 a.m. 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. down to 12 to 8 a.m. And then in the evening, we have the first federal Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant at the Cultural Complex. And finally, to wind down the whole thing, we are going to go up to the St. George's Anglican Church Rectory, where they're bringing back the food fair.
My church.
Your church. Our church.
Our church.
A taste of the Caribbean Food Festival.
You don't sell out your passport, so you can't call it your church now.
My church. We are all Anglicans. And so Eric...
You're gone over by M&M.
Yeah, and so Eric, Melissa told me to come to her church at St. James. That's why. And so Eric, a lot of activities. I told you that we don't have time. A lot of activities for Culturama 50.
You ain't tired after calling out all the activities, Abo? Listen, listeners, it was such a pleasure being here this evening. I told you we had a lot to talk about. Time ran out on us. But we're going to be back sometime in the future. Remember, that Double E will be back on the airwaves 6 to 10 from this coming Saturday. And so I'm sure we're going to be having a lot more fun on Saturday night, Sabo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be here on Saturday, 6 to 10 for the Saturday Night Live. And so it has been a pleasure hosting On The Mark this evening. We ask you to join us again tomorrow at 1 for the repeat. And on behalf of my guest, Mr. Antonio Abernathy Liberd, thank you very much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Thank you so much.
And opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers. With all the power from